owned and operated website, but we have access to
all kinds of great solutions in terms of getting your content in front of the right people every time. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Joe Ford of Netvantage Marketing. Joe, aside from overseeing the day-to-day operations of Netvantage, Joe is a lead strategist and manager for pay-per-click team at Netvantage. He directs between 25 and 35 campaigns a year, which is insane because that's a lot of work. Across a variety of budgets, sizes, and industries. Ford's background is based in marketing and technology, so he's the perfect speaker for this group. And he's been working with search marketing since 2003. You can believe that was a thing back in 2003. When he was the assistant director of marketing and admissions for the Eli Road Graduate School of Management. Prior to starting Netvantage with co-founder Adam Henning.
Yeah, stole the trip.
Yep. In 2008, he was a senior analyst at a leading internet consulting firm working with Fortune 500 companies. Ford is on the executive board for the Lansing Regional Chamber of Commerce, which is appropriate. Hosts this meeting here, and he serves on the marketing committee for Impression 5 Science Museum. He's also an adjunct professor in the Michigan State University Broad Graduate School of Management for the Masters in Market Research Program. Joe Ford.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it. Thanks for braving the weather today and coming out. I appreciate it. I will make sure, absolutely sure, we're out here on time as well. I know we have busy afternoons and we're in the middle of the week, so certainly we can stay afterwards for questions. But if there's anybody has any questions, by all means, put your hand in the air and I'll call on you. I'm going to bounce around a little bit today. Really honored at the opportunity for Chad and Leo that asked me to come in several months ago to speak. And in our industry, as in everybody's industry, there's no shortage of topics to talk about, and there's no shortage of topics that change on a pretty quick level. So I wanted to revisit something that we've been talking about on a day-to-day basis with a lot of our clients and internally, and that's how much the Google search engine result page changes, and we call it a SERP. But that's what we're going to talk about today, and then as an underlying kind of as the underlying foundation, and from there we're going to talk about the two different aspects of what has changed and maybe what hasn't changed when it comes to search in terms of both organic and paid activities. So as I said, if anybody has any questions as we go, by all means let me know. Real quick about us, because this isn't about us, it's more about the content. We have two team members here with us today, Lexi Kimball and Brianna Rattering. They're from our East Lansing office. We have a gentleman that runs our Chicago office. We also have a gentleman who is my business partner over in our Grand Rapids office, a couple folks over there as well. We started Netvantage in 2008, small. We only have 8 people right now, I think. We've fluctuated in size. We've gotten up to about 9 or 10 at one point. We're a pretty stable level at 8 right now. And we just do search. We don't do any web development. We don't do any mobile apps. We don't do any video. No offline strategy whatsoever, just search engine marketing. As a part of that, we do SEO and paid search. Part of paid search does dribble into display and retargeting as well, but we try to keep it pretty focused. So getting right into it. As many of you have already experienced, because you probably use Google on a fairly frequent basis, you've seen an evolution in search engine result pages, and there's obviously, if we went back to screenshots going back in the late 2000s, there'd be even a larger evolution. But even just in the last 2 years, in February of last year, Google started rolling out a new look to how they were displaying ads. And in a traditional model, if this is the fold on someone's laptop or desktop, that you would have your ads that would be here, and then you'd have a couple of the top organic listings, you'd have paid ads here. Very quickly, as many of you probably know, Google does have other revenue models in place, but by far the primary revenue model is these ads. $24 billion a quarter, 50 cents a click, 50 cents a click is how I like to say it. So for them, they're constantly looking at this extremely valuable real estate, and they're constantly trying to figure out ways to monetize it, because they're no longer a good company that's going to just try to do no evil and help out people. They need to make money because they're publicly traded. So all those days are gone. All the utopian business, purpose is off the rails. Now they need to make money like everybody else. So as a result, what you now see is a whole fluctuation, a whole listings of paid ads. And one of the other things that's happening that they're trying to drive towards is extreme direction of providing personalized local results. Even up until a few years ago, if you just typed in pizza delivery, you probably would still see some national organic listings. You would see local paid, but you would see national organics. Today, more than likely, unless you really got your settings locked down, you're going to see pizza delivery to your nearest location, whether it be desktop, tablet, or phone. You're going to see those results come up. You're going to see also if you visited some of those places before, they're probably going to get a preference in those search results for you. So it's going to be a personalized experience because Google is angling towards the monetization of that experience. So now, one huge change that Google went to, they rolled out completely in March of 16, was you now no longer have free ads on the side. Because over time what they did is they studied those and said they don't have very good click-through rates. So the batting average of those ads, how many times they were displayed, how many times they get clicked, wasn't really benefiting Google. And in there, the way their vernacular was, well, it wasn't benefiting users. Well, in reality, it wasn't benefiting Google. So if you had something, you're running a campaign, you saw an average position of, you used to have 3 ads here, and then ads 4 through 10 were down below, or some combination of that, because every time you do a search, it kind of spits out a different auction result. You'd see those differences, and invariably the click-through rates for these types of ads were lower. Okay, they were lower. So what Google said was, okay, we got this prime real estate. Let's go down. We'll take away the side ads. We're going to go to 4 ads now, all paid. Before you even get to an organic listing. So not every time, but a typical search engine result for a competitive keyword term could look like this, where you have ad. I don't see any organic listings here. Where did my organic listings go? They're gone. Okay. No, they're there, obviously. But clearly, from a click share and an iShare standpoint, rather, what they're trying to do is get you to click on these in this real estate here before progressing to the organic. And then obviously you have maps that'll throw a mixture in there as well. Again, to be clear, anytime you do a search, whether it's in incognito or in a normal browser experience, you're going to see a different combination of things. It's hard to consistently get the same look and feel for every time on a SERP. But generally speaking, a lot of times for a competitive term like just mortgage even, you're going to see this type of environment. And again, very, very, very quickly, for those that do not know, the order of these ads are a combination of many different things. It's not the highest bidder. It's a combination of bid plus quality. Plus, when they evaluate quality, how they're evaluating that is the propensity that your ad's going to get clicked over the other one. So there's also historical click-through factors that go into that. Kind of a whole other topic for another day. I want to stay on task here with this. But that's how these are displayed. Certainly right now, none of these advertisers, Quicken, Huntington, Ditech, or LendingTree have paid for anything. You do not pay until there's a click, just to make sure that we're all, probably most of you knew that, but I'm going to make sure just we're all on the same page for that. So some more changes that you might see. You might see these ads here. Now up until 2014, these ads here, which often you'll see in the product type-based services, not product-based keywords, not services, but products. You will start to see now these images, and this is what I call the eye candy ads. Okay, there was a time when if you're running an e-commerce website, if you wanted to push your products up to a Google Merchant Center, that you could organically get those clicks, and those had fairly good return on investment because they were quote-unquote free clicks. Now those are all paid. Google looked at that real quick and said, "Whoa, we could make some money here," so they moved that to a paid environment. You're seeing. We talked about the local results, commonly referred to as the 3-pack, which are these results here. You'll typically have 2 of those, and we can look at a couple of examples. And again, you'll see more personalized results. The other thing that I'm not going to cover as much today, because again, there's only so much you can jam into 30, 35 minutes, but you will also see different types of results based on the type of query. We've seen the news results, you've seen that. You've seen social results, video results, just organic image results come up as well, but they would be down below the fold, so to speak. So those are all things that you'll see in terms of what I call different types of results, whereas in the old days, it was purely organic. Then they introduced ads, and it was some ads and organic. Now it's a whole different types of of different results that you might see, again, all dependent on the keyword. So to sum it up in terms of, we all want the takeaways, what does this mean? Well, it means paid search is going to continue to eat up clicks. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it. If you're doing it for if you're at an agency and you're doing it for your company, you're in-house and you're doing it for a company, you have to do paid search. But you do need to pay attention to it, because if you're consistently seeing your organic traffic decline in your Google Analytics reports, that's warranted of an investigation. Like, why? Generally that means either rankings. But then as you continue to track your rankings or you spot check your rankings and you're saying we're still ranking out really high, but organic traffic continues to go down, there's other factors at play. One of those could be, because there's no perfect case in all these situations, one of those could be is that you're getting beat by paid search because you have competitors going after the same keywords that you are, and perhaps you're losing some click share there. Local SEO is critical. Now obviously for at the enterprise level, if we're working with Dark Container, who's a client, the local results don't really matter for Dark Container. They're doing other things. But certainly for a lot of the businesses that we all work in, we all love to say, we work with Fortune 500 companies. That's cool. That's great. But our portfolio, just like everybody else's as they work with an agency, you're going to have a mix of local clients. A lot of those are going to be small to medium businesses. They're the lifeblood of what you do, right? So most of the time, local SEO matters to those people, whether it's real estate, whether it's an HVAC company over in Okemos, whatever it might be, that's going to be critical, because oftentimes, particularly with new devices, that's when it is going to get the interaction. That'll get a click or even a phone call right away. And then you still do need to pay attention to traditional SEO. That hasn't gone away. It's still a major factor. I always like to say the largest contributing factor as to why you should spend time or money or both on SEO is that you frankly have economies of scale with your clicks. Unless you have extremely deep pockets. In paid search, at some point, you're going to run out of money that day. You just are. Or that month. You are. Depending on the variability and the popularity of the keywords that you're going after. In SEO, the lights are always on. And I always say there's great economies of scale with investing in SEO, because organically, your organic listings aren't going to come down at 9 o'clock at night because you've hit your $25 daily budget. That can happen in paid search. And so, depending on what you're doing, depending on what your targets are, depending on what your keyword mix is, obviously, if you're a divorce lawyer, you're probably going to get a lot of activity between 9 at night and 1 a.m. Right? Not a pleasant thing to think about, but it's kind of reality. Okay? And that's fine. But that company or that agency, that law firm, may also get queries at lunch. So they need to figure that out and structure that within their paid search. But with SEO, you're always kind of entrenched there. You're always there, particularly with that local SEO as well. Quick chart here, and again, we can send out a PDF copy of this as well. Quick chart here. This is organic. You can see the click-through rate, which again is the batting average of when you are seen to when you get clicked, is obviously here for position 1, and you see this intersection down. I didn't source this. I apologize. I think this actually came from a study done by Cornell a little bit ago, so I apologize for leaving that out. We didn't create this. But you can see where these intersection points are. And yeah, ranking still matters. And you hate saying it because it sounds salesy and it sounds, I don't know, pushy, but it does matter. Being high, being in that top 3 of organic results still will matter, even though paid will continue to creep in. So on the SEO side, as you're looking at these adjustments and you're seeing how Google is now handling these things, but you still think that there's good economies of scale and making sure that SEO matters and getting good quality traffic. Fortunately, right now, there's always changes in the algorithm, but fortunately right now, we are in a little bit of a holding pattern where some things still matter. Selecting good keywords and making sure that they're used within your site are important, and I think one of the most important things is to make sure for a website that's got, say, 15 to 20 pages. Every page doesn't need to be optimized. The Contact Us page does not need to be optimized for anything. The About Us page maybe, but probably not. Really, it's always going to go down to capabilities, products, or services. Whatever that section of the navigational tree is normally the area that you need to pay the most attention to. The home page can go into that bucket as well, because that's the page that's going to get indexed the most. So your URL structure, make sure they're clean, make sure if you're in a content management system, it isn't like, you're yoursite.com, $P equals page ID 4, which often happens in content management systems. Page titles matter, okay, in terms of making sure those are clean, making sure in body copy you're not overdoing your keyword saturation, but that you've got good instances of it throughout copy. Alt tags, continue to be somewhat important. And then also making sure that you've got errors. And if you have a site of any size or scale at all, you can double check errors manually. But if you have a larger site, double checking it manually won't work, and I'll get to that in a minute. You need to rely on tools to double check that, because when Google wakes up in the morning and it has its cup of coffee out of a Google coffee mug, it is going to go out and organize the world's information, which is a pretty busy day. So you want to make sure when it gets to your site, when the bot finally gets there and it indexes it, I'm speaking kind of in very literal terms here, obviously. You want to make sure that the site doesn't have any issues. It wants to go through it clean. You don't want it to be hung up. You want it to index it, remember what it's relevant for, and move on to the next site, because it's got a busy day. So those are things that do matter in terms of making sure you don't have any errors. But again, when optimizing, it still matters. And it's too many times you see, or you talk to folks, and they think they want to dump every keyword known to man about their industry into the homepage. Ideally, you take 2 to 3 keyword instances per page and divvy it up. You want to make sure that each page, each service area you have, each capability, each product has a nice, even hierarchy and a nice, even compartmentalized, kind of a compartmentalized approach to it. So you only have a few keywords per page, so Google isn't confused about what that page should represent. And again, writing your users and not to a bot still matters as well. From a dead end standpoint, again, some sites are small, you can manually check. If you relaunched your site, if your site is moved, if it's redirected, whatever it might be, it is always smart to sign up for Google Webmaster Tools. You can integrate it with analytics, or you can go do it as a standalone. It is one of the most, I feel, is one of the most powerful SEO tools, and there's thousands out there. But in terms of a free tool that Google says, here's what we're seeing when we index the site, here's issues we're seeing when we index. Here's the search queries that are driving the most traffic to the site, because we can't track that in analytics anymore, as you're probably aware. This is all a great tool to sign up for. And again, it's free. Oftentimes you can just put it underneath your umbrella of Google accounts. Say if you've got analytics, use the same account for that. And also within that, as I'm going off kilter a little bit, you can use the crawl errors report. And that will tell you if you've got any 404s, any 301s that didn't redirect. Give it to your IT manager. If you're the jack of all trades, then you kind of figure it out on your own. You want to make sure that that's cleaned up as much as possible. That's kind of all internal. Links still matter. The quality and quantity of backlinks still matter. So very quickly, if I've got a site that sells scented candles, and what would a good link look like for me? Well, that would be a number of different things. For example, it could be as bare bones as I've joined the Chamber of Commerce, and in their membership directory, they've got a link back to my site. Check that box. That's a link. Generally speaking, that's probably a pretty good link, because the Chamber is probably a credible site that Google's recognized on the internet. If I'm able to find a blogger that blogs about home decor during the holidays and say, hey, we've got this line of scented candles, would you like to write about them? And he or she writes about them, and they include a link in their blog back to my site. Check that box. That's probably also a good quality link. Again, these aren't links going out from your site. These are incoming links coming in. Nothing wrong with links going out. That can be helpful for your users as well. Google's going to look more closely at the links coming in. Obviously, over time, many would argue that because Google gobbled up their market share and their ability to gobble up that market share over Yahoo was based, and to a degree AOL, going way back now, to the old days, is their ability to rank out more relevant sites in a simplistic manner based on quality of content and links was one of the reasons why Google made the strides it did. And it still matters, quality and quantity. If you go out and pay a spammer to spam out and blow out a bunch of links across the internet that aren't relevant to what you do, that could be a recipe for disaster. We don't want to do that. But certainly links will matter in this day and age. In the algorithm, it will still matter. Ranking locally, we talked about that, kind of bringing it back to our changing face of the SERP, so to speak, in terms of those map listings that are so critical. So you're going to do a couple different things. You've got to make sure that you register with Google My Business, which is next. I probably should have reordered these slides, my apologies. But you want to make sure that all your citations across the web are crystal squeaky clean. So if you've got multiple suites, if you've got multiple locations, if you've got multiple phone numbers, you want to make absolutely sure that all of those listings of your business, okay, are consistent and the same. So your Facebook, where your address is pulling out of Facebook is consistent with where Yelp is placed. It is consistent where White Pages is placed. I'm talking all the organic pieces of this, not paid subscriptions. And then anywhere that you're listed, even the Chamber directory, and if it's pointing back to you or wherever directory it may be, any Michigan business directory in the directory listing is consistent and the same. Google wants that because again, its mission is to organize the world's information. It hates inconsistency. It wants everything to be perfect, and that's important and can impact your rankings in terms of how Google sees your business. So this is an example of our Chicago office, and you want to make sure that everything is listed out, where you can fill in any kind of information. You want to make sure you have that. Hey, shame on us. We don't have photos there. I think we do, but we don't have. You wouldn't have photos. Make sure that that's as populated. Don't fabricate anything, but anywhere where you can populate it, populate. And again, this is something you sign up for in your Google account in the suite of tools. It's underneath analytics. It's very critical. Google wants Google My Business to get used. There'll be a monetization angle with it soon, I'm sure, coming down the pipe. You got to feed the monster, right? You got to please them. So make sure that this is filled out because again, it's got an absolute direct tie into these types of results right here. Okay, this is where they're going to pull that information from. Also have a note here. You see these stars. Let me get back to where it was. Let me go back here real quick, and then also we'll talk about reviews here in a minute. But reviews of your business are going to matter as well. And again, the goal here in local optimization is always to try to show up in whatever footprint you want to show up in from a geographic standpoint, and geography and where you are from an address standpoint matters. We oftentimes will get companies in Lansing that want to rank well in Grand Rapids because they'll say, well, we'll drive over there. We want to be over there. And it's hard. It can be very difficult. We try to deal in very real. I don't want to make this about us, but in real terms, we're like, look, you don't have a physical presence in Grand Rapids. It's going to be really hard to rank out for Grand Rapids real estate broker. As much as you are good and you will drive over there and help people over there, without that physical presence, you're generally always going to show up, unless you're what I call you're a new business or it's a keyword in a vacuum or nobody else is using that keyword. You're going to have trouble with it. So what's changed within this whole revolution is mobile's huge. Even if you're a site that doesn't cater to mobile, if your target audience is still traditional for whatever reason, mobile doesn't matter, Google doesn't care. Google wants a clean mobile experience. So if your site isn't mobile friendly, before you do anything, I start saving money to get a responsive web design done. And I'm not trying to plug any. Hopefully there's some web designers in here that are like, yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah. But it's really critical because if it's not, you're going to get a bad grade and your rankings are going to suffer. Whether you get one mobile visitor in a month or not, it's just going to be that. It's how Google's. We're going to play by their rules and we're following their guide. Site speed is very, very critical. Hence is always the challenge when dealing in web design. And we don't do web design, but we deal with designers all the time. In terms of you want a really pretty website. Oftentimes that means images, the aesthetics matter. Oftentimes that can slow a website up, right? And so somehow in the middle ground is making sure that your images are compressed, that you've got caching involved. So you use Pingdom, use the Google page speed test to see where you are. We've had really, really clean websites at Netvantage before that we've worked with that we thought were, when I say clean, we thought that they were optimized well. And all of a sudden the rankings are falling. You're like, what's happening? Like, why? The links are good. We're checking all the boxes, and then they do a site speed test, and Google's giving us a 50. And it's like, that would be why. Okay. So then you got to deal with it from there. Pogo sticking. So the user experience is getting counted. We know this now. Like Google's looking at your user experience, and if you have a high bounce rate in your Google Analytics profile, when I say high, everybody always wants a number. They want a number, right? I would tell you that if it's over 60% to your homepage, you probably have a problem. If your direct traffic's coming in and they're bouncing off to 60 or 70, I don't care what it is you're doing. If you have a one-page site, you're fine. Most people, if you have more than a one-page site, you probably have an issue of some kind. So you should investigate that, because Google's seeing that, and they're not going to reward you. They're not going to penalize you. They're not going to reward you, though. There's a big difference. And then making sure that depth and quality of original content matters. And I think where this matters is if you're selling in e-commerce and you've got a bunch of product descriptions of a product you're selling that's coming from a distributor, and you're just taking the boilerplate description of whatever pool pump that is, and you're putting it on your webpage. And if you Google a line of text from that pool pump and you throw the whole string into Google, and you see all these other people that are saying the same thing, there's an opportunity. Again, you're probably not going to get penalized. It's not duplicate content. Google gets that. But you're not going to come up. It's not going to give you the best chance to be successful. And it doesn't have to be e-commerce. I see this with just dealing with a firm over on the west side that sells water softeners, and they're selling the same softener that many others do. It's a fairly popular brand, and they had put just that water softener description on the website. We went in and looked at it. We took the top 2 sentences of the paragraph, put them in, and all these other people from around the country are selling it. Obviously, because it's a popular brand. If we can, let's divvy this up a little bit and try to get some original content here. So again, I'm going to keep moving quickly because I'm already behind. But so if one way, people are always asking, say, we don't see ourselves come up, and maybe they are, or vice versa. If you go into Google or Firefox and use the incognito tool, that oftentimes is the best way to see truly what's happening around you. That'll allow you to see who's playing in the paid space. It'll allow you to see what map listings are getting, and it'll allow you to see how you're coming up. Another way to do it is the ad preview tool in AdWords, but if you don't have an active account, you can't use it anymore. They took it away because they're jerks. Okay, you used to be able to go in and see that. I really like that. Now, but if you're not playing in AdWords and you still want to see that, and you want to see truly what's going on, it's a good way to proxy it and see what's happening around you. Again, we talked about page titles. Again, just kind of blocking and tackling here. This is a page title. That's a bad page title. That's a good page title because you put the keyword in the page title that is consistent with what the body copy is. Body copy here, in terms of what good body copy is in terms of forklifts, probably not overdoing it, but maybe a little close, but it's pretty good and I'm on a forklift mode here, sorry, but to like bad, there are like no instances of the word forklift in this body copy. Can't assume that Google is just going to make an assumption and put 2 and 2 together that you're selling forklifts. So, and again, with body copy, you need to write first for your customer or your prospect, and then go back through and build out from there. When we do, most good SEO firms, when they are working on the site redesign and the client says, you need to go through and write, we say, you write the copy, you know your product, you know your customer. We'll go back through and sprinkle the keywords in later to make sure it reads like English. Citations are critical to see where you're already. You're probably in more locations than you think. To see where you are, you would go to like Amaz.com for a free checkup. It's a great way to see where you're listed on the web and find where your inconsistencies are, which is really critical. These are all kinds of various tools that you can use. And then you also have, on the link side as well, different types of things that you can do. Other kind of key considerations that just you can only talk about so many things in a day. So Google Review Link Generator is a great way. You send that link to your customers, and you got to take all the work out. Nobody wants to leave a review. Nobody's got time for that. You want to make that as active as possible so that they can go in without thinking and leave you a review, even if it's lukewarm. Obviously, hopefully it's not bad, but hey, those count too. The more positive, real reviews you have, the better off you're going to get in terms of those local listings. There's 1,000 ways to check your own backlinks. Webmaster Tools has a module for that. Moz.com, that's a free one you can put in and just see kind of where some of your domain authority is. You can't get, once you start getting into the weeds, you may have to pay, but you can at least see where some of your links are coming from, and at the very basic, see what kind of quality you have. If it's low, you may have to address that. Testing your site speed, and obviously, hey, if you got a blog, use it. Don't use it for the sake of using it. Use it for the sake of putting out good content. If you got social media, use it. And again, don't use it just to say we're on social media, but use it in a certain way that you can put good content out there, because good content does have signals in it, that certainly that Google can put up. So, shifting gears here. What about paid search? So we talked all about organic and local up to this point. So with this move now to the top 4 ads and with the continued, as I said, monetization of the search engine result page, using paid search can be a good tool, clearly, to draw in traffic and draw in potential customers. Here's some of the challenges you often see. You always feel like we have to spend more money. Auctioners, average cost per click in auctions, they're not going up, or they're not going down. They're always going up. We're seeing more competitors gain eye share. We're not sure how to track success, what's good look like. And again, this is above and beyond like, hey, we're getting phone calls, we're getting leads. These are mini success track options. So some of the things to keep in mind are, a lot of it's just basics, and it's goal setting and landing pages. If your site's not ready for paying for traffic, don't start an AdWords campaign. Focus internally on your site first. As we always say, I don't want to build these beautiful highways to a shack in the woods, right? I want to build all these beautiful highways in terms of traffic to a nice mansion that people can go through, right? So, we want to make sure before we spend a dime, organic's organic. Before we spend a dime on anything, let's make sure we're ready for company. Geographic considerations are very critical, and paid search will give you that opportunity. So if I use my example of the Lansing company that wants to get into Grand Rapids, but organically, it's going to be impossible because Google's like, whoa, your address is in Lansing, we don't like you. Paid search gives you that opportunity. Now you can say, I just want to advertise in the Grand Rapids market, as we all know. And now you can start getting some traction in that market. Effective keyword matching is the most critical thing, I believe, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Ad copy testing, you are able to test your message out there, whereas in organic, you're kind of entrenched. Certainly bid and budget management are critical because now you're paying per click on a daily basis. You've got extensions to manage, and then within visitor retention, you want to track that within Google Analytics. So I won't go through all of these points in great detail because I want to be respectful of the time, but but we will touch on some of those. From a keyword research standpoint, you can use, there's a ton of keyword research tools out there. There's GrepWords, there's Moz has one. I mean, there's, they're not hard to come by. Using the Google Keyword Planner is nice. And SEMrush is really the top of the line with that, but you have to pay for it. But certainly you can look at your suggested bid areas here and start figuring out, what type of relevance, what type of keyword you want to go after, what's the monthly volume, and you can adjust that to right down to the state, even to the regional level. I will tell you, regional results aren't very good. Oftentimes you want to use a national number and use that kind of more of as a predict number to say, okay, generally speaking, forklifts gets more searches than pallet jack, which gets more searches than pallet truck. Every state might vary a little bit depending on what our target is, but you kind of get an idea where you need to be. It can also help you initially. I wouldn't trust these numbers to the core, so it can kind of help you initially form a marketing budget as you're trying to figure out, what do we need to lay to. This time of year, a lot of people are planning for 18 in terms of budget, so it's done. What do we need to spend on paid search on a monthly basis? The one thing we talked about is keyword matching, and I won't go too far into it, but it's important to pay attention to keyword matching because if there's one huge element of waste that we see in every AdWords campaign we inherit, it's broad match keywords and how much money they cost businesses on a daily basis. It's great for Google shareholders and their bottom line. It's terrible for people trying to actually make real money. Anytime you use a broad match keyword, I saw an example once, and I'm not going to, it wasn't locally, where a university spent a lot of money trying to go after the term business school, and the actual search query that they were getting a ton of clicks for was school closings. Now you got to think, like, why would somebody see that ad and click on that? But people will click on anything, and that costs them a lot of money. And the water faucet was running like a busted pipe, and nobody was shutting it off. You have to look at those reports. And anytime you use a broad match keyword, you open yourself up for those problems. Every keyword, I won't go into detail because again, this is a presentation for another day, but anything you can do to really get to a specific variation where you're trying to make sure that your ad is showing at the most appropriate time for the most appropriate query is where you want to be. That will hopefully help you generate the most return on your investment. There's also negative keywording as well. The example I gave this is for a forklift company. If you're just going to use lift truck service, you're going to open yourself up for a lot of people that are looking to pump up their tires on their Ford F-150s. That's not a forklift. You still will get clicked for it though. And then in each variation of it gets you down to a more closer version of that. But it's very, very important, and even in today's world now, with more and more paid search clicks, because again, we're getting more clicks because the ads are above the fold. So the lights are on even brighter in terms of what you have to do. Ad copy testing, it's great to use. Everybody uses all kinds of different strategies. Champion versus challenger testing can be good, where you have an ad that's running just like traditional marketing, try to challenge up against it. Click-through rate is your guide there a lot of times, or conversions. You got ads that are using numbers, ads that are using different headlines. Keep in mind too, the other big change, and this was going back now almost 2 years now, so it's old news, or 3 years now, so it's old news. But when they changed the ad copy from a traditional, you've got a bigger headline here and more actual real estate. Again, you're going to get a bigger, because of that, you're going to get a click, more of a click. So it's going to impact click-through rate for sure. And then extensions are critical. Extensions are a tremendous tool to the advertiser, and again, it's a real estate game. So forget order for a minute. But if you're going to see these ads for scented candles, and you look at all the real estate, which ad do we think is going to have a higher chance to get clicked? You could probably argue about a few of them. I can tell you which one probably wouldn't. It's this little guy down here. It's just so small, right? It's tiny. And it's at the bottom, sure, but it's tiny versus all this real estate here, all that real estate there. Plus you've got localization going on with the extensions. You've got review extensions getting plugged in, snippet extensions. What else do we have here? What am I missing here? Oh, we've got a BOGO extension here, which is an offer extension that can be done in retail. Yankee Candle and Glade get good reviews from me on this, Amazon, whatever. But this is two very well done ads from the standpoint of you're trying to get that click. You're taking up as much eye share as you can within that top listing versus Home Depot, which is kind of more on a hope and a prayer. And then tracking success is critical because obviously you're paying for this traffic, just like you track anything in marketing using Google Analytics, breaking down your goal types. One thing to keep in mind when you're managing that AdWords campaign is the click-through rates, managing those at the campaign level and making sure that you're managing that average cost per click to maximum bid ratio. So as you recall, for those of you who are running AdWords campaigns, if you're going to bid, say for example, $5 a click, you're not going to pay $5 a click every single time. There's an average cost per click number in there that over time you're going to track and monitor. It could be $2.87, it might be $3.25. Ideally, if your click-through rate's good, your quality score is high, you're starting to see a gap over time between your average cost per click and your maximum bid. That should help short more budget on a daily basis and help stretch your budget farther for quality clicks. So that's very, very critical to monitor. When people say what's good average click-through rate, it's kind of like what's good average bounce rate. Don't have a great answer for that other than higher is better. But I can tell you over years and years and years of doing this that if you're between 2.5 and 3% on a broad match keyword where you're not just trying to throw gum at the wall and get awareness out there, that's pretty good. Like you should be doing pretty good. We ran keywords before that did okay at 0.85% because they're generated conversions. We ran keywords before that were at 12%. We weren't happy because we wanted to be at 16% click-through rate. But the one constant rule is that the higher click-through rate you have, the better chance you have of coming up at a lower bid level. Google likes you because you're getting them more clicks. It might be at a lower rate, but you're getting them more clicks, and that's what they like. And you want to be their friend because they'll reward you for that. And then real quick too, before I put almost close to a wrap on this, actual search query reports in the AdWords are the most powerful reports I believe that Google provides. I'll be very surprised if they continue to provide it. If they take this away soon, I won't be surprised because it hurts their bottom line. I can look at the actual query reports and see what the actual verbatim search terms people are typing in that are generating my ads. And you be prepared, you might see some scary stuff here. A lot of them spellings. This is America, how they're typing in, right? So get ready. But in all honesty, you do see what the market's typing in. And oftentimes it's great market research. It can maybe lead to other keyword ideas. And also sometimes even we've had it where it led to other product ideas. So It helps in terms of determining negative keywords, but can have so much more power to it. They're very guarded in their data. They don't give you all the information, just some of the top clicks and impressions, but it truly shows you if your campaign's on a good path or not. You can see what people are actually typing in, like my school closing example, which was not a good example, but it was real. So. And then finally, in web analytics, within acquisition, you look at AdWords or look at campaigns. You can see the types of keywords that as people come in. And it's important because you can have great campaign data. You can have campaigns that have good click-through rate. You think the return on investment's good. And then you look at what they're actually doing from a visitor retention standpoint, and it's a disaster. The bounce rates are high, or they're only looking at a couple pages and they're leaving. You really want to pay attention to the visitor retention numbers of bounce rate, average pages per visit, average session duration, and again, that matters. Keep in mind that this all counts in the overall organic grand scheme of things as well. So whatever you can do to lower your bounce rate, even for your paid traffic, it all counts to that overall traffic number, and that's pretty critical. And that puts a wrap on that. So finished here. It's 12:56, so I went a little longer than I wanted to. Sorry, but does anybody have any questions before the 1 o'clock break? Yes, sir.
You said talking about extensions. I use WordPress. Is there any particular WordPress plugin for that?
There's not. They would be. I can't think of a way in which they would be related per se. The extensions that you'll use that I highlighted here only are exclusive to AdWords. There are options within the AdWords module. You wouldn't be able to enable those.